Welcome everyone, my name is Steve Johnson. I'm the winemaker at both Parallel 44 and Door 44. Today's topic of alcohol and water, I want to go through some of the history and the evolution of the alcohol content in wine. It was not uncommon back a couple thousand years ago with writers such as Plato and Homer, and even there are many biblical references of the wine being diluted with water. There are two practical purposes for that. One was it made the water safe to drink, but then secondly, when you dilute the wine, you have a lower alcohol beverage, which therefore allows you to probably enjoy the moment of drinking for a longer period of time. So there was some common sense application of reducing the alcohol content of wine. And even in more modern times, 20, 30 years ago, with the advent of wine coolers and spritzers, the lower alcoholic expression of wine became very popular among people who wanted to enjoy wine. And it's not uncommon in Europe to see parents diluting the wine with water and offering it to their children so they can also enjoy the wine. Now recently there's been a trend to offer bigger, bolder, high alcohol wines, particularly from California. And I guess there's several reasons for that. The most often cited one is that in a lot of these wine competitions where evaluators are tasting dozens if not hundreds of wines, when they come across a wine that is higher in alcohol, it strikes a chord on their palate. It stands out amongst the 100 other wines that they've tried. And it's not necessarily saying that it's better, but it stands out in their mind, which often leads to them those wineries getting accolades. And so other winemakers want to sort of mimic what it is that the evaluators liked or noted. And so it's not uncommon now to see alcoholic wines from California or high alcohol wines from California that are up to 14 to 15% alcohol. And there's sort of a reason for that also based on the climate. So in California, particularly most recently, they have very warm summers into fall. And so what you see is with a hotter climate, you get higher sugar development in the berries, which when fermented out leads to higher alcohol, which to some people leads to an unbalanced expression of the wine. Now in a cooler climate, say Washington, Oregon, or even here in Wisconsin, the cooler climate leads to less sugar development in the berry. When fermented, you have a lower alcohol expression, and in some people's minds or view, it is a more balanced wine. So what I want to do is give you a little way to experience this yourself. What I took here was a Napa Cab. I'm not disclosing the label, I took the label off, but it's about 14.5 to 15% alcohol. Now what you can do to sort of see whether or not you have a preference for higher alcohol wines or lower alcohol wines, you can just take a high alcohol wine, try to find a 14 or 15% California red particularly, probably from Napa. And what you just need to do is pour an average size glass of wine, 100 to 150 milliliters. And then if you take about 2 tablespoons of water, which is about 30 milliliters, add it to one of the glasses. And ideally, to get the best expression of it, you'll probably want to walk away from it for about 5 minutes to allow the mixing of the water and wine to get the best representation. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to do it right now. And I'm taking the first wine that's undiluted, and I'm definitely feeling the heat. That means the high alcohol on the palate. It gives you a pretty good mouthfeel. Has a lot of weight to it. Now the one that has dilution of water, that 30 milliliters with that 150 milliliters of wine now has brought the alcohol down to about 12%, which is pretty typical of, say, like a European wine or wine from this part of the world. So one thing that pops out is there's some aromatics here, but with the water in this wine, it really opens it up. So now I get expressions of like cherry, some blackberry, maybe even a little plum. And it's not nearly as noticeable in the undiluted wine. It feels balanced, but there is less weight to to that wine. There's not as much heat. So this is a good way for you to sort of experiment. Maybe you're one who prefers more of the aromatics in a wine. Maybe for more of the finish, the body, the mouthfeel of the wine. There, the high alcohol might appeal to you. So it's a fun thing to just try on your own to get a sense of where you are with your palate and what types of wines you may gravitate towards. So please send me your comments and questions. I really find it enjoyable when I get feedback as to what you guys are interested in. So until next time, cheers.